Yeah, I guess I'm just super disappointed in Natsuka from this. I thought he was going to be a mastermind, unless this is all a play himself. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Yatagarasu. We come back as we normally do with notes and a board, so let's go ahead and pop into that board real quick. Where I have just two little new additions. I connected Hamio to the prince with a blue line, since it seems that she won the whole thing and they got married. Also, just a note here, technically they are step cousins via the board, but thankfully not by blood, since the prince is the product of an affair. And I tied Yukiya to Hamio with a green line because, that introduction has finally been made. I mean, outside of the episode where it was all revealed, but now they've actually met face to face. As to the first events at the beginning of last episode, granted, Komi investigated rooms large enough for her dad to have been in. I cannot say for certain she wasn't opening closets as well as rooms, which is to say that she could have been looking for something as easily as she could have been searching for someone. Despite what she said, I think she might still have something to do with the drug trade. Maybe as an extension of what she said her father was up to, but still something that, well, could be of concern. The element that when we later meet up with Hamio, she says that she may have brought up the prince knowing what could have happened. That all of this could have been set up for this specific event to go down the way it's going down. It's surprising that the bill collectors just happened to have accepted the story that Yukiya served for the prince. Maybe it was such an off-the-wall thing to throw out that they just ran with it since they needed to send the prince a message anyways. Otherwise, I expect those guys to hear all manner of excuses about things that they'd either not care about or would be all manner of lies. The quickness of their acceptance was just strange. But granted, as I just said before, all of this may be play acting, that they're working towards a goal, and this was just part of that. As I said, my dad died 2 weeks before the recording of last episode, so I feel it's a strange place to be considering her words about her dad and the hope that he never comes back. It's also strange to consider the situations. My dad was a bad alcoholic that allowed it, among other things, to drive a wedge into the family that it never recovered from. Still, I wouldn't wish that he never came back. Knowing there is someone that was once close to you that you can never talk to again, regardless of how little you may have talked before, it's its own sort of sadness. Her dad may have put her through a lot, but the way she describes it, it wasn't for bad reasons. That he was trying to improve their lives, just maybe through stupid ways that cost her too much. But to then still hope that he never comes back? I'm with Yuki on this one. I get that there is an element of putting the dead on a pedestal, or forgiving them for their transgressions now that they're gone, but at the end of the day, they are gone. What was good left in them can never be brought back. Hamio says that who the underground thing was a long time ago, but then says it all happened when the prince's grandfather was the Kinyu. That's only a generation back from people who are currently around. It's his dad's dad. A generation is only 15 to 20 years, so we're talking 30 to 40 years ago. Lots of people in this show would have been alive to know about this. And as an addendum to that, I feel a little less clever, as I wrote it before Hamio then said it's been 40 to 50 years, but hey, at least proved me close to right after the fact. The agreement between the king and the Kinyu is an odd one, considering that the underground is where the worst criminals went, according to the story, meaning that if they really did stay out of each other's affairs, then someone brought up on a crime in Central could just run to the underground to find safe harbor. Unless the suggestion is that the underground would refuse those people for that separation, and that whatever the underground was at the point at which it became its own thing is now just maintaining itself into the future. Still, what is the ghost fire? I've been assuming that it's campfires of the monkeys outside the barrier and that they've been sneaking in. But what if the monkeys were always inside and the ghost fire is something else? We know that the prince spent time abroad, unless that was a lie to cover up something he's otherwise doing. If he's seen the outside world and everyone else is repelled by the barrier, it could mean he knows what this is. For some reason, I'm getting remnants of Xanth on this one. It's a book series, if you're not familiar. That my old theory might be true, in which case the ghost fire might be a red herring for that being the modern world outside, and the fires are a misinterpretation of lights. Just a stray random thought, probably not true at all, but thought I'd throw it out there just in case. Like, I could see that being the reveal at the end of the whole series, that the barrier cracks, and we see outside, and it's like, you know, someplace in China or something, just skyscrapers and whatnot, cars going by, and oh, what the hell is this? Insanity. And my last note, I guess it makes sense to send Yukiya only in so much as they know he serves the prince, they being the underground. Plus, there is the chance that the people down there might remember him from the month of his service, because they seem to have liked him. So it could work out. At least it makes some sense more now in the next time on, where it seems like Natsuka is also going down there, which seems more of an official representative being escorted by Yukiya, rather than Yukiya being the leader of this whole thing. Anyway, those were my offhand notes, having rewatched the episode. I did not, in the rewatch, figure out who was standing next to Masho no Suzuki. I said before that I thought it might have been Shiratama. I think that's incorrect. It might just have been her former lady-in-waiting, Kukuno. They had bright red lipstick. Shiratama never wore bright red lipstick. It's definitely not asebi. Who would that leave? Not Shiratama, not asebi. Who would that be? I don't know why I paused on that so much. It would leave literally nobody. Because there was only those three left if you assume that Hamio won, and I don't know why you assume. She did win. But yeah, they would leave nobody. So it must have been her lady-in-waiting. Well, this is the princess, but the princess doesn't wear that bright red lipstick either. Anyway, my point being, question in my mind, although it seems like we're going to get Komi scenes in this episode too, so I guess we'll find out when we watch, which is right now.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Lokon. 正直、あんたがナマスになろうが、私はどうでもいいのだがな。
すみよ。悪いが俺も反対だ。
That means just as a recap of last episode. The end of last episode.
行くのはユキヤ、そなただ。
いや、でも向こうは天下を指名してるんですよね。それを僕なんかがのこのこ出て行ったら。
私もそう思います。ユキヤに天下の代わりなど到底。
Okay. There we go. This explains why he's going.
ユキヤには友として随行してもらう。
あんたが思うほど連中は甘くないと思うがね。
宗家の長子が出向けば。
Also, you've been establishing this presence this whole time.
連中が最も警戒しているのは朝廷の兵力を握るホッケの存在だからな。
So you would need someone to go with Yukiya, essentially.
つまり、それが理由ですか。僕を地下街に連れて行く。
さよ。地下街には猿の手がかりがある。だがそれが欲しいと頼んだところで、おいそれとよこす連中ではない。しかし、ホッケ当主の孫がいれば、強力な交渉の手札。
Yukiya's hatred of being used for his bloodline.
故郷を守りたいのであろう。
Plus Natsuka,
私は山内を守りたい。
kind of invoked this in him to begin with.
何でもする覚悟だ。卑怯のそしりを受けようと、この身を投げ出すことになろうと。ユキヤ、お前も同じ思いではないのか。
Yeah, I assume you just fucking hate it. He hates being used for the bloodline he hates representing because it's going to tear his family apart. can put on a face.
承知しました。
Oh, no, just subservience. Alright.
地下街随行のお役目、謹んでお引き受けいたします。
I guess that's the show, that things are not quite as they are with not as they should be with Yukiya, because he doesn't act like that unless he's putting on a face. I was expecting him to go into like smiley laughing face, which would be the other indication that he's not being himself. You know, the same way that he does when he's being the block-headed second son, right? That sort of thing. We gotta remember that Natsuka is the one that invoked the element that you are the representative of this bloodline, which is why we chose you among all the other people. It's like, oh, you didn't choose me for me, you chose me for what I represent. And that's the element that Yuki doesn't also like, is that fact he is the block-headed second son, because the threat to the family that he represents in a competition for who should succeed, based on the element that he has precedence over the actual first son. That's not what he wants, and that's what he's trying to defend against. So you've got to accept that it was like a fist being balled into his hand, with the understanding that they're invoking the thing that I hate the most about myself, right? And I love that all of that is in that one little scene and one line, basically, from Natsuka. Which is why I keep saying this is a great show.
思った通り、弟の衣装がぴったりですわ。
恐縮です。サイケの姫様がお手塚ら。
Okay, this place is just here in Central. They said that before.
無理もありませんね。私も驚きましたもの。
Okay, I was right. It was her lady in waiting.
浜優様の女房になると言い出すなんて。他に務まる者がいないと思っただけよ。さあ、できたわ。これはいかがいたし
So wait a second. Who's her little brother?
まだ元服前ですのに。まるで死にに行くようなものよ。
I guess that's going to be a blank spot to add to the board, because I never mentioned before that she had any brothers or sisters. I guess technically she's first daughter. She'd have another daughter.
もしや今になって行きたくないとごねておるかと思ったが、杞憂だったな。額当てがまだなのか。これで私が当面の冠親だ。何か文句はあるか？
いえ、何も不足はありません。
聞くの？ああ、そうでした。ユキヤ殿の飾りたちをご用意しないと。すぐに戻りますので。
ご苦労なことだな。
I know, you're all be like, you missed a thing. Don't worry, I'm gonna go back and rewatch that scene when I go back to take my notes.
また北領に猿が出たぞ。佐崎の一軒家だ。発見は遅れたが、おそらく襲われたのは菅生の前。すぐに気づいていれば対策を打てたかもしれんが。
I guess maybe this is what Rokan and Natsuka were looking or investigating early in season 1 when we saw the burning village. Honestly, I would just suspect that Rokan is one of the monkeys. Dude's built different.
殿下、開けてよろしいでしょうか。何やら急ぎのご用事だそうで。聞こえていますか、殿下。失礼します。名月彦。いい加減機嫌直せって。わかるだろう。俺だって好きで反対したわけじゃん。
うるさいね。へそだって曲げたくなるさ。置いていかれた挙句、あんたに朝から晩まで見張られてちゃ。
No, because he just really wanted to go.
こういう時殿下はろくなこと考えないんです。今までそれで何度煮え湯を飲まされたことか。
何をもたもたしていますの？ユキヤの太刀をお借りする約束ですのに。 出発に遅れたらどうするつもり？
失礼を。
It's funny to see them in the same spot after, you know, she had to cut her own hair off and do the whole song and
あ
dance.
んたは外。
ひでえ。
That'd mean that they're just still hanging around with each other, meaning that Shiratama and Asebi are the ones who just get pushed out for this arc of the story. Also kind of funny to consider you have to fly to the underground. You don't have to. I guess this is the make it official. We know that there's a bunch of underground caverns. I mean, tunnels. Yeah, I have to say, this would be very insulting. The rich people coming to visit the downtrodden. I guess at least you had an intimidating motherfucker like Rokon with you. Up until a certain point, I imagine. Huh. I thought the oddity of what creatures exist in Yatagarasu, I would have assumed that it would just be Natsuka and Yukiya to a certain point, that Rokon wouldn't be there. And his name was Toby.
そなたがトビ殿か。
我々は若宮を呼んだはずだが。
Technically, the prince's older brother is still a prince.
本日は若宮殿下の名代として私がまかり越した。では早速だ。
会談は中止だ。
夏香様。
待たれよ。言葉足らずで申し訳ない。私は宗家の長子にして若宮殿下は弟にあたる。諸藩の事情により私を差し向けられた。
I would assume that they would know who Natsuko is. Especially all of Natsuka's meetings happened in the underground. Happened in the underground.
協定を破ったことはなく、今後もするつもりはない。水売りの娘を保護したことを貴殿は問題視しているが、我々はただ
くどい。わからないなら教えてやる。この土地ではお前たちがありがたがる生まれや育ちはビタ一文にもならん。価値があるのはただ一つ。信頼だけだ。協定もしかりだ。文字の一つも記すことなく、ただ地下街と朝廷の信頼だけで数十年守られてきた。だが若宮は来なかった。名代、諸藩の事情、我々との関係をその程度に。
Natsuka playing politics and has fucked everything up.
協定は破棄だ。ふぬけの弟にそう伝えておけ。
Which is funny, because Natsuka doesn't typically take action. So this is the first time he's taken active action, and he's fucked everything up.
この者はホッケ当主玄夜公の孫ユキヤ。トビ殿にお預けしよう。我々の信頼の証、人質として。
Well, this isn't different.
正気か。
このようなことは本意ではない。だがことここに至ってはやむを得ぬ。地下街にとって
hostage, collateral, it's just different words for the same thing.
遠慮なく受け取られよ。さあ。ふざけやがって。どこまで俺らを酷にする気だ。
つまみ出せ。
Well, I wouldn't imagine that I fucking suck at this. Thought my guy was gonna be good.
ここは一旦引いて。 後日若宮に何とかさせましょう。
バカ者、そんな真似ができるか。
For a moment, I thought he was faking being afraid and making a run for it to make it more seem like he was the grandson.
わざわざおいでくださるなんて。大変な目にあったと聞いて、あなたは大丈夫なの？はい、ユキヤが守ってくれましたから。ここでは皆様にも親切にしていただいて。ユキヤはタルヒに戻ったのですか？
Spill the beans? Or does everybody just know by a look?
度重なるご無礼、お詫び申し上げます。私はホッケ当主の孫として夏香様についてまいりましたが、ここではそれが何の意味もないと痛感しました。その上でどうかトビ様の情けを請う者の一人としてほんの一時話を聞いていただけませんでしょうか。
ユキヤ、
私の故郷は北領タルヒ。先日猿に襲われ多くの死者を出した地であることはすでにお聞き及びでしょう。食われた者は
I guess maybe Natsuka was only good as a fake figurehead. That if he had ever opened his mouth, he would have fucked everything up.
率直にお尋ねいたします。トビ様は猿について何かご存知なのではありませんか？
なんだと？
地下街に手がかりがあると聞きました。
誰がそんなことを言った？
若宮殿下です。
若宮？
はい。金羽の勘だと。
キングの勘か。つまりお前は信じているわけだ。ふぬけの若
I
宮
mean,
は
he
誠
is.
のキン
He's
グ
got magic powers and everything. Weird that we're flashbacking to literally last episode.
あの方は我々と同じヤタガラスではありえません。じゃあ一体何なのか僕にはよくわかりません。ですが金羽がヤタガラスを救うものだというのなら、僕は若宮が誠の金羽だと信じます。僕にできることなら何だってします。その代わり猿の情報をください。お願いです。故郷を守ることができるのなら命だって惜しくない。トビ様、どうかどうか。
I mean, I'm betting that the monkeys come from down here, and what's happening is some sort of infighting between the underground.
大したもんだ。宮ガラスの中にも血の通ったやつはいるもんだ。
I mean, we saw him on the next time on. I'm betting he's the king. The reports of the king being gone and Toby replacing them is going to be false, and that he's just still the guy. There we go. What'd I just say? You gotta get it in there right a moment, right in the head of it.
邪魔して申し訳ない。ちょいと野暮用できたんだがね。しかしいけねえな。夏香様とやら、よくそれで人を上から見下ろせるもんだ。何を？
申し訳ない。まさかあんたが出張ってくるとは思わなかったもんで。
誰かと思えばてめえかよ。窮屈な格好しやがって。自分の射程くらいしつけとけや。
面目ない。それじゃ。
射程？待て、引き捨てならん。おい、こら、奥は離せ。
Yeah, I guess I'm just super disappointed in Natsuka from this. I thought he was going to be a mastermind, unless this is all a play himself.
水売りの娘の件さ、完全にこっちの早とちりだ。無関係とは言わんが、若宮は例の話に関わっちゃいねえ。巻き込んじまったな、坊主。さあ、立ってくれ。猿の手がかりが欲しいんだったな。そんなら俺が手引きしてもいいぞ。
本当ですか？
はあ、お安い御用だ。
おやっさん、あんた。
トビ様よ、ここは一つ俺に預けてもらえねえか。
Again, I'm still leaning on the element that the monkeys probably come from down here. And they're spilling out through those underground passages all across this region.
その岩の向こうにはさらに奥へと続く隧道がある。白檀に経費上等だな。行動計はちょっきり2時。その間は入り口を開けておく。俺の記憶じゃだいたい1時進んだところにお前の欲しい手がかりがある。白いかけらだ。そいつを持ち帰れたら俺の知る限りのことを教えてやろう。
白いかけら。
Yeah, what's a white shard?
鬼火道路は初めてか。こいつが燃え草だ。一粒で一時、二粒で二時。つまり一粒を使い切ったら入り口に折り返すのが目安だ。
二時に間に合わ
Well, I
ない。
mean, that also implies they've got access to the ghost fire, which is what
ど
outside.
うする？やめとくか。
いえ、始めてください。
Also, you know, something that indicates we're sealing something in or keeping something out. It's also funny because it kind of reminds me of a Fallout vault. Especially the way they rolled it out.
無駄なことを。この穴から生きて戻ってきたのはおやっさん、あんただけです。待ったところでとても坊主が戻ってくるとは。
I mean, considering he's the main character, I'd expect we'll see him again. Although that could be a reason why this show is so short.
坊主を気に入ったもんだと。
真心を尽くして助けを求めるものあれば等しく答える。それが地下街というものさ。戻れば行幸、戻らなければそこまでのやつってこと
I
だ。
don't know, now it's starting to look like the caves from the forest. I'm gonna guess that means we're on the other side of the barrier, maybe? Like this is an underground path, and the barrier is a dome over top? We've sent a lot of people down here. You seriously think he meant white shards as in bones? Or are these human bones? The Yatagarasu have different bones, not like this.
ギリギリだった。なんでこんなところにまさか住んでるのか。
I mean, time to run. They haven't seen you yet.
こいつら猿だ。
Gonna freak out and charge at you? It's interesting, they got this whole fucking society over here just... So younger Yatagarasu are stronger than the monkeys? Stronger than the children monkeys, I guess. I would have done that. Yeah. I don't think that was the prince. Because otherwise, why would they just fucking murder him? Here's the thing. As I was saying, what I was trying to indicate before, it seems like they've got their own fucking culture over there on the other side, right? And it seems like maybe we think we're the good guys because the good guys is our perspective. And that when they show up and they just fucking start murdering us, it's for no reason. But it seems like they attacked us on sight on their side for probably exactly the same reason we're attacking them. Well, granted. I guess the thing is, herein, we have no idea why. And it seems like the idea is that no one's seen these guys before, so maybe historically it's been a thing? Like, we haven't seen them in a long time, so everybody who's seen them now doesn't recognize them, but at the same time, maybe we did something in the past? Maybe we're hidden off because of something we did a long time ago? I don't know, I just can't parse the element of we don't know who they are, but they see us and freak out and try to kill us. But it's that one that didn't turn into a monkey that was like, no, let him go, that. It seemed like an innocent response. And then the prince fucking decapitated them. Is it going to indicate that the prince know better than whatever was happening before? That he's going to kill these things no matter what to save Yatagarasu? And that's going to be the racist jingoist element of the story?
迷宮を行く二人に追っ手が迫る。白いかけらが暗示するこの世界の真実。若宮の言葉がユキヤの心に波紋を投げかける。次回、外界。
Alright, well, I guess we're going to get to the answer to what I was suspecting about the outside world. Again, I think now I'm wrong. Well, I thought I was wrong before about my suspicion that the outside world is going to be the modern era. Very clearly seems to be the monkey world or whatever. But I'm going to go leaning in on this one on like the idea of original sin. That the Yatagarasu did something in the past, and that's why they're sealed away as they are. Now, I don't know what the fuck it is. Clearly it's something to the point where children on the monkey side recognize what the Yatagarasu are just on sight and freak out and try to attack them. Not all of them again, because that other kid, I think, is representative of something else. But the element that the prince shows up, decapitates him. That can't be good if we're ever going to find like a piece or anything. But also the element, I don't think there's enough episodes left to come up with a piece. I also don't know what's supposed to be indicated by the mounds of bones, right? Is that the people that the Yatagarasu killed? Is that a representation of what happened in the past? Like, it's important for something. I'm just not sure what that is yet. I guess also the element that it's a dark cave, right? That he had to bring his own light source there to have seen it, and it didn't seem indicated that they could see. Well, maybe they were walking without light, so maybe they could see in the dark. I'm just not sure the element of the ones that killed a whole village and why they would do that and how cruel they seem to have been. The salt thing. Is it for food? Like, I don't know. There's so many questions still left in my mind. Again, I think it's just another case of I have to rewatch the episode to figure it out. Not that I can't figure it out. I think to rewatch the episode to try and have a clue, to have more notes to come talk about it, because I will say I was a bit worried that we got done with the political arc and then whatever would come after it would be very confusing or not on par with. I think we've gone with the political arc, which did the world building of the Yatagarasu people as a whole. And now we're doing whatever you want to call this arc. Like, I'm not even fully aware enough yet to say what this arc is, to give it a name. But whatever this arc is more world building in a completely different direction that I would say you probably could have started this whole show with this thing. You probably would have, I think, hooked more people too, unfortunately. But this is equally as good in my eyes so far, because this is building up to something, and I'm hoping that they stick the landing. The only other thing I can think to talk about herein is that my disappointment in Natsuka here, because, unless he was putting on a play, like, they pull him away, he's like, no, wait, whatever. And then they get to the entrance, and he goes all normal, and he was putting on the fake because they needed to push Yukiya on, and the only way to get him in was to completely look like a failure, which I could completely see Natsuka doing, right? Natsuka has no real care for his own appearance to outsiders, or others for that matter. So he could pretend to be a failure in order to push the narrative that he needs to have out there to be successful. I also guess the element that the prince showed up, then we saw the prince back in Central earlier with Sumio scene. So is that the prince? Is that a doppelganger? Is that, like, how did he get down here? Is there a secondary entrance only he knows about? Or was he in contact with the king already? That's why the king was already there. So many questions. Yeah, but I guess that's where I'm going to leave it here, because all I've got is thoughts rattling around and no answers, or I'm not coming to any answers yet. So we're going to come back with the notes next time, and we'll address all of this stuff then. So, until then, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?